Welcome to the Lost Forgotten channel.
In my heart, and baby, down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door the way you treated me too many times before. I know I gotta keep you by my side today I've died. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. Now you done and piss me off. You went and done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on. Oh, I'm going on.
Connect the dots, la 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 la. Connect the dots, la 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 la. I can't take it no more. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and put another song on while we wait for some more people to join us. I'm going to do a little tweeting and that kind of thing. Let's see, I wonder if my songs are still on this computer. Yep.
You see me pacing, there's no patronage for patrons, but my patience tells no lies. Profit thing of evil, profit still, if not my lover. So you ran and you took cover from the concerns of your life. And all I want is for you to see what you want is supposed to be. And all I need is for you to pray, for the way is the truth and the life is the way. Find another way. Take it back. Don't you cry, don't you speak, I don't care what you say. Take my mind and my heart, you throw it all away. Take your lies, take your hate, and then get the fuck away. Push me once, don't look back, just lie back and fade away. Come back again, you won't repeat your sin, but you're not welcome anymore. Take it back, all those plastic dreams and lies you can't sustain. Take it back, what you'll really do is never what you say. Take back all your promises and throw the truth away. Push me once, don't look back, just lie back and fade away. You've got me by your talents and the love that you were meant. When your words were only spoken to be broken, you were scripted. You meant what you had promised, you hold fast and show me proof. But instead you ran away, I guess you never liked the truth. Take the knife of all your virtues out, what's left pure in my heart. Your intentions failed to mention that the lies would ever start. Profit thing of evil, profit still, if not my lover. Don't you know there is no other, you still let us fall apart. Come back again, you won't repeat your sin, but you're not welcome anymore. Take it back, all those plastic dreams and lies you can't sustain. Take it back, what you'll really do is never what you say. Take it back, all your promises, throw the truth away. Take it back, don't look back, just lie back and fade away. Take it back, what you do, what you say. Take it back, what you do, what you say. I don't care what you do, what you say. I don't care what you do, what you say. Get back, I don't care what you do, what you say. Take it back, I don't care what you do, what you say. I don't care what you say. I don't care.
Oh, good. I was hoping the Murphys would get home before we got started. The neighbor got us something?
Yeah, so I can make the daughter's request for Saturday.
Ooh, gumbo.
Yes. I have the meat, I just needed the okra and the seasoned blend, so now I have okra and seasoned blend, so now I can actually do it.
Yes.
And
gumbo.
she got it for us. Because we is broke.
I was just talking about how you're going to make some gumbo this weekend.
Yeah, well, luckily gumbo is the type of food that it doesn't cost a whole hell of a lot to make, and you can make enough of it to last a while. Like, you can eat on it for a couple days, because the more it sits, the better it tastes. It's like chili or spaghetti.
The more it sits, the better you feel. So let's have gumbo for every meal.
Yeah. And anybody who says it's too hot for gumbo, tell them to go screw themselves. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life.
it's like beans, but it doesn't make you fart. Well, it can.
It is hotter than Satan's ass crack outside right now. In case anybody was wondering. Hey, Neville.
Neville got the first cheddar.
Woohoo! Sorry, I was drinking a cold Coke to try to bring my body temperature back down from 1,000 degrees.
So how are you doing today, sir? Get settled into the new job yet? And quite a few people I know have had some turnover recently.
Mm-hmm. It seems to be working out for the best, though.
But, so anyways, I want to, see if I can put on another little song, because my wife just walked in, and it's been a while since we heard some of this stuff.
And I've been gone and in and out all day today.
Yeah, she's been gone all day, and I miss her. Let's see here. Which song to play? I already played Lie Back. Yeah. Let's do Cold Hearted Blues. Recording here. We just hit record. Never played together. Just hit it and did it.
I'm in my home down in New Orleans. Lord, I left my home down in New Orleans. Lord, I had nothing but trouble. You know what I mean. Oh, nothing feeling can't seem to change. And I'm coming back before then with some cold-hearted news. I got the cold-hearted blues. I'm feeling trouble down in me. Nothing nobody could see. Fate intended something different for me. Now I'm asking nothing for free, 'cause I'm holding some news, 'cause you got nothing to lose. I'm coming to you, baby, with some cold-hearted news. I got the cold-hearted blues. Cold-hearted blues. Cold-hearted blues. Mercy on me. Bye baby, I ain't ready to see. I'm coming to you, baby, with some more I do. I got the cold-hearted blues. Oh, please have mercy on me, baby, I got nothing to lose. I got the cold-hearted blues. I got the cold.
Well, glad you enjoyed it, Mr. Pedro. Welcome. Hello again, Neville. And we are back at the Lost Begotten channel. And I'm not really sure about just the kind of format I want to put to this presentation. But something I'd like to start with is the results that came up when I did a little search just now.
Hey, Pedro.
Just for banning Satan, because I have this little graphic, obviously. I was going through the Twitter file. The weird little Twitter file. I don't know what this thing is. This well, that almost just froze my computer. Okay, try that again. So, I have this file folder in my backups because it came from my phone. This was on my phone.
I need to do that.
On my phone, I had a serialized, see, I relabeled it, just thumbnail folder, because just, I don't know what the hell it said, but it's a mixture of photos and videos that were shared and some not shared on Twitter, like some that have nothing to do with Twitter, screenshots, and these were all inside of a folder inside of Twitter. But anyways, I went through them. And, I mean, just really just some random stuff, just creepy. Like, blurry shots of my face, like from videos and like photos I took, and I just don't entirely get it, what this compilation is supposed to be. But I made myself a little selection out of there to use for some broadcasts, because I found a couple of interesting old things that I forgot about. And one of them is that. And let's see, the other is what's forming my opinion of the content, that this is not a result of Russian fuckery, but this is evidence that the FBI's had my back the whole time. Because some of these files I've been looking for a while, and I didn't want to have to boot my server up to get them. Like that one. That's a pretty nice one. You would think more people would be curious just to see how full of shit I was. Let's see, what does it have? That one actually had over 1,000 views. How about that? That one's pretty fucking hilarious right there. That's the one where I like draw it one way and then chomp it with my hand, making a little fictional character thing. See, the more I have fun and the more I have purpose and don't even give a fuck about who's watching, obviously, just the better it works. Just that simple. It's called painting reality. I do it. But, you know, artists need their focus. Anyways, I thought this one was interesting. And there was, you know, some things that just like, if this was the Russians, this is Twitter agents, why would they be keeping them for me? And then the thing that I looked for that wasn't where it was supposed to be. I'll just go back to the desktop. So I have this folder here, and it had 2 images in it, and it was called Drumpf. And I could have sworn actually that I had some videos in there too, and then I got down to 2 images, and now I'm down to 1 image in there. And the other image was this one here. So, you know, innocuous image of Trump in front of the Trade Center. Right? Yeah, not too bad, but this one here is just kind of creepy. But anyways, I got done doing this after I got my backup restored of my lawsuit stuff that seemed to have disappeared from the computer. And it's just been an interesting selection as far as what's been removed. Little by little, so I wouldn't really notice, but that I would, you know, I don't know, have some of the most clear pieces of evidence hidden from me. and not notice. I tell you what, the hardest thing about being me is remembering all the thing that proves that I'm me. You know, just like, wait, hold up, no, you have to listen to me. You're all gonna die, and here's how I know. Oh wait, how the fuck do you know? Oh yeah, all this stuff. Kind of a pain in the ass, really. But that is why one does not simply watch the Lost Forgotten channel. But anyways. So yes, I found some of these images to be very interesting. And if I was a Russian hacker, I would have removed them, you know? Because, well, InfoWars. And even the pot to piss in that the Republicans managed to give Donald Trump, I mean, I told them they shouldn't even give him a pot to piss in, but they did, and there it is, pissing all over him. I mean, that's just disgusting. It's a giant toilet stage. I know I keep bringing it up, but come on, giant toilet stage, and you still don't know you're being shit on? See, the thing is about this here, is that Alex Jones is kind of a little fucker. In fact, I just saw a video that came up on this search over here that I've been doing that had this little piggy, Alex Jones, talking about, please liberals, you need to realize Hillary is evil and corporations are controlling and enslaving you and blah blah. He's against corporations, even. Yet he gets ads and is allowed to pay to promote. And I just caught on video him getting that. In fact, I can just show it right here, so I don't need to upload it.
Alex Jones here with an incredibly important report. I am reaching out to folks in Colville.
Hold up. Let me get the bigger can off. So.
For lack of a better word,
Hey. Alright, come on. How does the iPhone work?
Look who's still got an ass. Can I better myself? Alex Jones here with an incredibly important report.
So,
I am reaching out.
show the ad. Of course, it's clearer on the video. Skip it. Yeah, there's Mr. Special himself. Talking his mad shit. Getting paid, banked by YouTube for it. Still. And here is the guy who brought you, just some wonderful things. Didn't he? Where was that one little piggy that I just put away? In the Drumpf folder. Alex Jones talked a lot about the two things, or three things, the two subjects in this picture. He talked a lot about both of them, didn't he? Did he ever talk about them on the same day, or in the same sentence, or paragraph, or context? Did he ever talk about Donald Trump and 9/11? Alex Jones, the conspiracy guy, right? Knows all about Larry Silverstein. But never once mentions that Donald Trump and Larry Silverstein are just the best of friends. And in fact, if one had to actually characterize their arrangement, despite or, garnering wisdom and applying it to what was self-professed, one might come to the opinion that Larry Silverstein was Donald Trump's estate lawyers, generally speaking, when they want to own a property and not have their name on it. And the real estate lawyer has the power of attorney to purchase the item on behalf of a client through a subsidiary corporation.
Sorry about that.
It's funny, my broadcast, I just went red. After all that desktop streaming and direct desktop and images and all that different shit.
Did you want that on here?
Hey, go ahead. I start talking about Donald Trump and Larry Silverstein. Oh, look, the moment I raise my spirit energy, it comes back. I started talking about Donald Trump and Larry Silverstein, and the broadcast cuts off. After all that remote the desktop view and going back and forth between here and here. See, my computer's running really fucking snappy when there's no hackers attached to it. It's fascinating, isn't it? So let me get back to where I was. Let's unfold this onion backwards from the way I put it up there. So Alex Jones never noticed that Donald Trump had been investigated as being a money launderer for people who smuggled children and hostages and models and drugs and just money laundering and no, Alex Jones didn't. But Hillary Clinton got paid speeches and then we just had to make shit up because people didn't care about that.
And then don't forget about the gay frogs.
I mean, that's what it used to be. People used to actually bitch that they were getting paid to speak about democracy in places that weren't democratic and try to speak to the business leaders of those places about the freedom that free enterprise brings to a country. And just to recap, in case I have any new viewers who happen to be of any type of socialist persuasion, the reason why socialism doesn't work is because socialism enables the power of a few over the many. Inevitably, no matter how well intended it is. It allows for propagandization of the masses. Okay? When Facebook took over and became a monopoly, that's a prime example of why socialism doesn't work. Okay? Facebook might as well be a socialist thing. It might as well be America book. You know? Only it's sold out to a foreign power, which is why socialism doesn't work, because a voted democratic leader of a socialist power can get sold out to a foreign power or sell out to, you know, who was it? Can't really remember. It was Satan. Oh yeah, Satan. Yeah. Yeah, they could sell out to Satan. And what you don't want to happen is a unified thought, a unified, you know, freedom is freedom for a reason. And what free enterprise does is allow you to make a choice. Do I want to have a good idea and try to start a business on that idea, collect investors, be able to protect them legally from liability through the use of a corporate structure? That's what a corporation is. It just protects the investors from liability from whatever you decide to fucking do. So they can only lose their investment and they can't get sued for the damage you cause. You know, try not to cause damage, but yeah, still, that's what I'm saying.
It happens. This sort of thing happens from time to time.
If your business is, you know, I'm going to go and fuck shit up, you're probably not going to find many investors, you know. And unless you're a Russian agent, like Donald Trump.
But we digress.
But we digress, yes. Just a little digression. He did not win a fucking election. He is an installed foreign puppet. Da-da-da-da. And Alex Jones never called him on shit. In fact, Alex Jones has never said Russian anything bad until after he'd been called on it, after him and RT and people started getting investigated, and basically everybody knew he was a fucking Russian shill. Suddenly he's calling Democrats Russian shills, and then all the Democrats are the Zionists are trying to divide and conquer America. No, that's what you did, you fucking, oh God, it's like, you can't even call him a moron, because this is just an insidious liar.
It'd be an insult to morons everywhere.
Just think about what a fucking insidious liar Alex Jones is, okay? Just fucking fathom that for a second. Just like wrap your brain around what a lying piece of shit he is. What a traitor he is to his viewers. My God. I used to watch that guy. I know probably anybody watching this channel used to watch that guy. Because we didn't fucking know any better.
I never watched
And we were wondering what the hell was going on, and every time you put it on fucking YouTube, he popped right up, didn't he? we thought the Cold War was over, we didn't think there was a concerted intelligence effort from a foreign power that was equal to our own in scope and scale. We didn't think that the entire idea that had been sown in our heads, that the CIA and fucking aliens were working together to control our minds and shit, could have possibly just been a Russian ploy to bullshit us into turning against our own government. We didn't think about any of that shit. But if you look at this guy's history with the Russians and with the Seventh-day Adventist Church, in Texas and everything. I mean, he built a fucking memorial church for David Koresh. Think about what a bullshitter he is. And now ask yourself, when he talked about Jews, when he talked about Muslims, when he dog whistled to this and that, did they ever tell you about this? Never told you about Russia. Never told you about the right-wing extremists in Russia were actually Muslims, and the leftists in Russia are Seventh-day Adventists, and there's basically just a Russian Orthodox community in the Far East towards Ukraine, where the Russian Orthodox community is actually just the Eastern Orthodox, which used to be centered in Serbia. Now you have the Ukrainian Orthodox, and you have the Greek Orthodox, and you have the Russian Orthodox.
And the Antiochian Orthodox.
Welcome, Ben, if you are an actual person. Yeah. I mean, try to stay on topic, keep your questions relevant. Welcome to the show.
You forgot the Antiochian and the Ethiopian Orthodox, the Egyptian Orthodox, Coptic Orthodox. Like, there's a bunch of...
Yeah, but you don't hear about them anymore. Like, they don't exist unless somebody bombs them or something.
Right. I have to remind myself that I grew up different.
And, yeah, that was a sidebar. It's a troll. Get rid of them. Yeah. I don't have the time to teach children how to breathe, let alone fake children. They fucking get rid of it already.
I'm trying. I told you my phone's been fucking glitching out lately.
So anyways, the people that spread that propaganda never mention the fact that they represent the Islamist and Mongolian combined horde. Nothing to do with any good, peaceful Muslim that has assimilated into Western society properly. Nothing to do with most of the Muslim population in the 1960s and 70s. And that's when the Soviets basically resurrected their plan and started to politically support the right wing, which in that form recreated an ancient thing known Just mute him. Jeez.
Yeah, well, no, check it out. Look.
No, it's spotting us again.
No, look. Because I hid and then was still able to come back. And Pedro had to come back behind me and hit and do that again.
The fucking window, I don't care.
Like, holy crap.
So anyways, Ben should just keep voting Democrats so Democrats can regulate capitalism. But anyways, if you want a Lenin or a Stalin to just start killing people en masse, by all means, keep trolling. Otherwise, if you keep fucking with me, your entire general region is in danger. Anyways, speaking of entire general regions being in danger, what trolls don't want you to know is that the Horde is never ending. The Horde has always been around. It has always conquered all. And it has become very relevant to our history because it never went away and has been there at the very point of our inception as a nation. And for us to think that Moscow is just some magical city.
Whoa. Did you guys get that live stream offline message just now? Like, I was typing a message and all of a sudden my video
Ben has superpowers. Ben is an asshole. Don't be like Ben. Well, if Ben weren't completely fucking useless, Ben might be able to breed with people willingly one day. Until then, Ben can just keep paying for little slave girls and keep working against the quality of his soul to pay for them. But anyways, fuck Ben.
Track.
That's so fucking 90s, dude.
Look, and we're red again. I like that.
It's alright, we'll just...
Probably because I have YouTube loaded on my phone, I'm sure.
Give it pause.
No, it's not. Alright, you gotta give me the controller though. I'm not having this on the TV in the background.
Oh. Are we allowed to stream, little troll? Are we allowed to stream YouTube? Are you done suppressing American free speech? Because the sons of Cain fear me for speaking? Oh my God, he opens his mouth and speaks words. Run! Quick, make sure nobody can hear him. Quick, make sure he can't concentrate on what he's saying. Quick, make sure he can't pay his fucking bills. Speaking of which, we just ran out of money again, so just
And
letting those who cared know, except for Neville, because he's. While I'm on the subject of that, Neville, what happened? Why'd you quit? Just wasn't working out, or what?
yeah, and not to like, get all like down and depressed and stuff, but like the whole me trying to find even part-time work right now is not working out, and school and stuff is getting ready to start, and it costs a lot to have your children in the best school district in the state to allow them to get like, a decent education that compares to the rest of America.
What about Frederick around the corner?
I don't know. It had to be cleared through Richard first.
So he's waiting on him to get back.
He was supposed to be getting back, I thought, last week. I might have been wrong.
Well,
or it could have been that he just outright overruled it.
I wouldn't think. I mean,
and see, that's the other thing with that trip that I'm going to have to be making. Like, how do I explain that to a new employer? Oh yeah, hey, by the way, I'm waiting on this call. It's going to take me to another place to have research done on this thing, and we don't know how long or when I'm going to be gone. That's kind of I would imagine that would be a downer. And then what happens if I do, like, start working and then they call me, like, the next day? I'm like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, this is my only chance to maybe find some answers.
yeah, it's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, it really is, and, like, it makes me panic and have panic attacks, and I'm trying so hard to be okay. Because this is a big change, and it's a lot to take in just on a general basis without the added finance stress that's on top of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Anyways. Wasn't trying to get too off topic there, sorry.
Sorry.
Old boy was doing his job. And, that was different. Thought I was in AOL in the fucking 90s again when the Russian trolls arrived.
I'm gonna scroll down for comments. I shut YouTube down completely.
But that actually, you know what? Thank you, Fuck Ben. That's his name. It's not Ben. It's Fuck Ben. Just, if you're gonna even think of it, just think of the whole thing. Fuck Ben. So, and I mean smite, naturally. Ben, Fuck Ben, reminded me of the 90s, the trolling, how long this has gone on. Dingo, I know you don't care, okay? But stop whining. That's enough. Back in the 90s was when the CIA had stopped supporting the Taliban and, the Mujahideen, and these guys called the Taliban had took over. But Russia never stopped selling arms to all of the, the entire list of terrorist supplying states. Russia was propping up the Taliban. They were using 100% Russian equipment. And in the late 90s, these Russian trolls came on Twitter. Not Twitter, on AOL, the Twitter of the day. And they were really kind of fucking everywhere. And they were commenting more on American news stories than Americans were. And then there came this guy, Alex Jones. And he was a special boy, wasn't he? And it was weird how we had dropped our guard so much after the Cold War that when Alex Jones appeared on RT, it actually gave him credibility. Like, see, RT knows that our government was behind. Oh, fuck. We were really fucking stupid. Just say it with me, y'all. I know most of you have been around long enough to when the first time I did this, just it's okay. Just to realize. Say it with me. I was really fucking stupid. You know what it all comes down to? According to the highest standard of men and whether or not you've dropped your guard and can redeem yourself or salvage what's left and try to save your country. The Lost Begotten is the channel that can give you your nuts back. The truth that reacquires your right to breed. When you think about just how stupid that makes us, just how stupid that makes me, I'm like, oh God. Just a complete fucking failure. And I kept my guard up longer than most people. I was paranoid about the Russians longer than most people, but it was for me, I really attribute it to the whole X-Files mentality. That, and I hope to God there was intelligent life somewhere in outer space, because there's bugger all down here on Earth. It has been a long time since John Cheese liked one of my tweets. But that was a pleasant feeling. The fact that I could make somebody laugh, or at least even smile, chuckle a little bit to himself perhaps.
Especially somebody like that.
After all the laughter he's given me. I used to love watching Flying Circus every day when I got out of school. For like 3 years straight. I still binge watch it from time to time on YouTube. Well, a better offer. Sounds great, Neville. Good on you, mate. You know, as we say here, Australian version of good on you, mate, is do you, boo.
Please don't ever say that again.
You gotta do you, boo.
Do you, boo?
Do you, boo.
Just say it through your nose.
But it was back in the 90s, get back to what I'm saying, that Alex Jones started to get popular, that RT started to get popular, that Putin happened to have just taken over. And there was a rebellion in Chechnya And this guy was one of the rebels. And then Putin took power. And he fought him, and then he put him in charge, which makes perfect sense. Nothing to do with the different Chechen terrorists that would come out of that area. You know, nothing at all. It was, in fact, after he raised this army in response to Putin's call for invasion of, you know, former Soviet territories, basically. And they did such a great job after MH17, making it all about Mosul when Islamic State took over North Iraq and Syria. You know, documented all that pretty thoroughly. And this was their reward. I mean, think about what that means. The same way to an Islamist, okay? Just to an Islamist, alright? I'm not trying to be anti-Islam here. Don't fucking people accuse me of being something I'm not, though. Matthew Lamachia, if that is your real fucking name. Because, you know, I'll likely hit you so hard your fucking skull will forever be changed. But, like to sit there insulting me over and over again. I mean, jeez. Managed to insult me and all of them at once, kind of. Yeah. Don't confuse me with, like, some big fan of Muslims. I just understand what, you know, is required of me. And I like to be accepting of people who are open to being civilized. I'm not, however, accepting of people who are not open to being civilized and whose very philosophy is the antithesis of civilization. Take it easy, Neville. Have a good day. Hope this one works out better for you. Sounds like a winner. So think of this the same way the Russians think of Trump. You know, this wasn't our victory. This was their victory. This wasn't the Republicans' victory. This wasn't conservatism's victory. No. It was Russia's victory over the United States. And Trump is the castle that they built here. And an Islamist extremist, and Putin knows this, Putin knows damn good and well, especially considering he's been behind a lot of the propaganda that has radicalized Christians against the Muslims, trying to set people against each other. Radicalized Muslims see that as their Trump. They all see, yeah, Putin has made it that Russia owns Trump. But Putin has declared to us that we own Russia. Because it wasn't Russian regulars doing most of the fighting in Syria. It wasn't Russian bombers, wasn't Kadushka. It was these guys. These guys. There they are. In Russia. I mean, in Syria. And Obama did not put them there. He did. And he works for Putin. He is basically an Islamist, jihadist, fucking terrorist. And it was a massive effort on many different Islamicized areas within Russia. They contributed to the total chaos that is now Iraq and Syria. And like I said, while they've got you to focus on Washington, D.C., they don't show you what's at the very center of the map in the Soviet Union. They don't show you the giant fucking Olmec with the penis hat that's a mile fucking long. Facing Europe.
Not penis hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
My brain needs fuel. This is it's a complicated story. It's a complicated thing to grasp, but it's so painfully obvious. It just irritates me that no one seems to want to think about these people as any more than just these guys that walk around in the fucking mountains. These guys, okay? These guys here. There's a limit to their kind of capability, okay? They don't have this kind of access. You know what I'm saying? See the difference between these two individuals or these two types of people? One is an international mobster whose presence can account for all aspects of discrepancies that have been perceived as conspiracy on behalf of the United States government. He can account for all of it. Even if the Russians disappeared those fucking planes, or the United States government disappeared those planes. More than likely the Russians, right? I mean, seriously. More likely the Russians, right? Well,
You should know, ma'am. It's not for you. Get down.
there's a motherfucker with some planes
Get
right
down.
there. No, I don't know whether I even subscribe to that theory, but it's a pretty well-known theory, and it's one that Mr. Alex Jones has talked an awful lot about, hadn't he? I used to think they were NASA planes, because NASA could fucking buy some planes, but you know what? So can he. And while supposedly these guys were planning stuff in the 1990s, and Putin was taking power in the late 1990s, and all these Russian trolls started appearing up in America on social media and trying to fuck up our lives in the 1990s, late 1990s. And Fox News came around and started the whole NRA Russian shillery fuckery in the late 1990s. You want to know what else was happening in the late 1990s? This. Oh boy. The Trump. He was building towers in New York City. One of them across from the United Nations. In a great position. You know, should something bad happen to the World Trade Center, like he happened to predict on a book, like, you know, like he said, like he somehow knew. Oh. Kind of like he knew the election would be rigged, you know? Yeah. How did he know both ways? Well, in both instances, he had a lot of recent contacts and business dealings with Russia, a lot of investment from Russia, and if Russia is involved in 9/11, then Donald Trump most certainly is. And Larry Silverstein, Donald Trump's real estate lawyer, purchased the lease on the Trade Center for about $3.2 billion, 5.5 weeks before it fell. Then raising $7.5 billion on insurance claims, profiting about $4 billion. $4 billion, B with a B, as in thousands of millions. And well, we know Trump is a pathological liar. We know Trump, I know Trump personally. I know for a fact, personally, that the skinheads in the early 90s already wanted him to be president, but were going to wait until after a black man got elected so that they could basically have the quote-unquote white Russians help to take back America. You know, to make it great again and whatnot. But that's the only thing you need to take my word for. Until somebody else comes out knowing the same thing. It's a conspiracy, folks. I ain't the only one who knows this shit. Need to go looking for former Houston skinheads. But the fact remains, the wool has been pulled over our eyes. Not just from the mainstream media, but by those who use information as warfare. That's, you know, why he calls himself fucking InfoWars, isn't it? Where is it? No, are you gone? Info whores is more appropriate. Can't even see, that's supposed to be the pyramid with the all-seeing eye behind it. The Illuminati, you know, Illuminati. It's Secrets of the Bilderberg Crisis Rolls in Parliament, Revelation in Halls of Parliament, or something like that. It's the leftists and the Bilderbergers and Hillary Clinton. And the fact that he was given credibility by going on RT just says it all. Just says what a level of awakening we have. What a level of mind fucking we've been victims of. We really need to just relearn our ass from a hole in the ground. We are that fucking clueless as a people. It's just amazing when you think about how, like, Putin and Gaddafi, Putin and fucking Afghanistan, Putin and Assad supplying fucking people that have been blowing up American troops for as long as we invaded Iraq. Putin basically tricking us into invading Iraq and then saying he can invade other countries because we invaded Iraq. Just non-stop fuckery. And people need to finally see through this guy. Because he does not respect us. He does not love America. He is the antithesis of most of the people that actually fucking voted for him. Those poor, naive people. And the demon Alex Jones sitting there saying that liberals are somehow brainwashed, when all he does is fucking brainwash people. That's what he does. It's brainwashing. What's the matter, baby?
I'm an idiot, that's all. Got to figure it out.
These fucking people and their serpent tongues sitting there accusing people of what they're guilty of. It just drives me to fucking insane. It really pisses me off. I can't find this fucking icon that I just made. What the hell? Oh, there it is. I got done making this for the channel icon for the video. And the only thing I could title it was, we're fucked. So on the previous several videos, I've laid out how history that can be proven, history that is known, when read in tandem with the Bible, the reward for this, the end of the pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, the mystery at the end of that rabbit hole, is the fact that the enemy of mankind is real. The enemy of civilization is real. The enemy of God's children is real. And they have always had enmity with us. And they have human servants who take slaves and they have been doing this for a long time, and they never ever stopped. And to think that they are in some distant past you need to realize that the danger that you learned about was in a context that omitted their existence. And that this is not something that you should consider separately. This is the never-ending horde. And it has been there since our inception. And it has been there for the past 100 years. It has been there 1,000 years before that. And it has been there 1,000 years before that. And even in the thousands of years before that. This happens over and over again to civilization. And it always comes from the same places. That just seemed to get omitted from history. The same way that certain things lately have been omitted from our minds. The same exact way Alex Jones didn't tell you about Trump and 9/11. Historians from this area didn't tell you that there were intermixed Greek and Scythian settlements, and that the reason why Alexander was able to take over was basically because he had a fucking army of Scythians. And they don't tell you that when the Persians came, it was because they were ruled by Medianites, who came from look up to the north in the same area as the Scythians. It's not that they didn't cross over into that mountain, right there in Chechnya, in the north, in the center. It's that is where the power of war comes from. And even if you go back to the first conquering empire, the Hittites, the Babylonians before that, the strife always came from the north. And the mysterious story of the Hittites is one of a special interest to me, because they just kind of came out of nowhere. They just came out of nowhere. Anytime you learn about Greek history, anytime you learn about Alexander, Battle of Marathon, you're not learning about Crimea, are you? Look at all those wonderful Greek city-states in Crimea. And Rostov, 300 BC, Greek. Rostov, 300 fuck BC, Greek. Wow. The reason I say wow is because of what they're doing now. Rostov. Rostov. Right there at the tip of the water. Now consider, what does this look like? What is this deployment similar to? What could it remind you of in history? What is this similar to? What could it remind you of in history? All this great dispersed legion all arriving in Rostov. Imagine the power that the Phoenicians once had. If that is the correct terminology that I'm using. Imagine the power that could have been brought to bear. Seems a lot like the power that enslaved Genghis Khan's village when he was a child. Just imagine how much power could have been brought to bear before the Sultanate conflicts, I guess I would call them, that caused, for some reason, was it the Arabian states to convert to Islam, or no, it was the Khan that conquered them to convert to Islam, or either way, from then on, Islamic khanates and caliphates became the terminologies of the nations that they would build. But a khanate is more of an appropriate word because it's not really the religion that matters. It's the conquest. Khanate, conquest, con artist. Since America's inception. Since the founding of Rome. And even included in its civil war. Although, you can see what's missing off the map. And of course, in Rome's downfall. You didn't know all of these things. You never connected all of these things. So when I say that other things are connected, perhaps you should realize who your enemy is and who your friend is. Because this is most certainly connected. There's just no way that it's not. And if you are under some illusion that the devil has been defeated or no longer exists for some reason, I don't really know what to tell you. But evil exists. And evil believes in the devil. You might think that these people are going to restore Christianity. Ain't no fucking Christian talks like that. There's a difference between growing up on the streets and using street words like I do. And being a fucking Satanist like these assholes. You know why the symbol for Satan is actually the symbol for asshole. Because that's what Satan wants you to kiss. So these people want you to think Russia is your friend. After Russia's been supporting terrorism, after Russia spent 20 years trolling us, was trolling us before 9/11, and was trolling us after 9/11. Trolled us on 9/11. Just the way a gangster would after sending his Goomba to beat up a fucking owner of a butchery or a deli or a bakery or something, you know. Oh, I'm so sorry this horrible thing happened to you. Is there anything I can do for you? You probably should have listened to me. And Russia's just behind. So much fuckery. But these people think we should just be their friends, supposedly? No, they're not that fucking stupid. They've been working with them and pulling the wool over your eyes on their behalf, trying to get you to not realize that Russia is behind terrorism, while telling you that terrorism is a result of, what, Hillary Clinton? Terrorists come in a lot of shapes, a lot of forms, a lot of sizes. But, I had one more I wanted to share, and I couldn't find it there. Let's see. Oh, there's another terrorist. Oh, don't forget this guy. He just had a interesting look to him, doesn't he? These guys all look like fucking terrorists to me. Just like these guys look like fucking terrorists. They've all got that fucking evil about them. But despite how you can, freeze frame anyone, these fuckers kind of always look evil. You know who doesn't always look evil? Hillary fucking Clinton. That is a Christian Southern grandma. That is a Yankee Satanist bastard. Know the fucking difference already. We have been fucked. We have been royally, totally fucked. And if you think that Donald Trump's best friend and real estate lawyer buying the Trade Center and the fact that nobody else would invest in Trump and he got a bunch of money from the Russians and the Russians support terrorism and all these different fucking dots that connect aren't enough, just tell me one thing. The same way Bush thought he could see into Putin's soul, why don't you look into this motherfucker's soul right now and tell me you think he's incapable? Tell me you think he's too good of a person. Tell me what kind of innocence and honesty you attribute to this person. This does not look like good to me. And that's not a freeze frame. He's looking up and posing for the fucking camera. Okay? Let's get him with a smile on his face. Let's see what makes him... Oh, I mean, he's posing with neo-Nazis. He's got a little bit of a smile on his face. Does he look like Ronald Reagan to you? Huh? There's a difference between presentable and being compassionate. Try to take the word compassionate and put it into that soul. Try. Without the very presence of compassion, what do you think he wouldn't do? What do you think he hasn't been involved in? This guy probably stayed at a fucking Trump hotel. Is there a Bangkok Trump hotel? There probably is.
Probably. Prostitution is prominent in Thailand, so.
Trump, Russians, terrorists. Trump, towers, terrorists. Tick, tock, flip, flop, hickory, dickory, dockery. I need a fucking dock. Oh, but the Bilderbergers. So anyways, this has been real people and real events and simple facts and things that you can correlate for yourself, and they didn't rely on hacked emails provided by Russia. They are an analysis of historical events, things that actually happened that everybody fucking knows happened. It is only a matter of considering all of these facts together that one makes an inevitable conclusion. Donald Trump is a clear and present danger to the United States of America. Plain and simple. It's got to go. But for now, I got to go. Thanks for watching, y'all. Click the like button. If you can, sign up on Patreon. If not, and you got a little bit to help out with, we're kind of neat again. Hopefully that'll be taken care of soon. Don't really know how, but hopefully. Because I'm trying to move on from that kind of bullshit. But, we'd appreciate some help if some help could be given. Otherwise, don't forget to click that like button. Make sure your subscription's valid and the little dingy bell is dinged so you can get notified of future broadcasts and upload. Y'all take it easy, but don't take it all. Have a beautiful day. Peace.
Peace.